Okay, I'm going to show you why the charcoal development is the best development that you can get. And out of all the development points is definitely the best one. I'm going to explain to you why you should always get charcoal burning first before anything. And it should be your first one. Now, the thing is, a lot of these, so if you're talking about the best moneymaker, the best moneymaker is probably deep mining, getting iron ore, and then eventually making weapons. That would be the best money makers inside the game, because all you need to do, for example, is you need like a burgage plot like level 2, and all you got to do basically after that is just literally just make a blacksmith. And once you make a blacksmith, it's just very easy money. But that is dependent if you have that region. If you haven't got an iron deposit, you're pretty much screwed. But the benefit of charcoal is everywhere. It's basically made out of firewood, and everywhere is trees. So what you can do is, for example, like as you can see over here, what I have is I have a forester's hut. So what these people are doing in a forest hut is that they're planting all these trees. Okay, then the woodcutter's lodge is cutting down the trees, and then the charcoal kiln is turning them into charcoal. Now there's two benefits. Number one is charcoal basically it doubles. So you can see one firewood converts into 2 charcoal. So you actually produce 2 charcoal for 1 unit of production, whereas nothing else does that. So if you produce, for example, clay tiles or whatever you want, you're producing 1 unit. But with this, you're producing 2 units of charcoal, okay? 2 units of charcoal also sell for a lot of money. I know this is not the most efficiently laid out post, but anyway. If I go here, and even if you can see charcoal, look, charcoal, it sells literally for 4. Now, it's actually 5 by default. When you flood the market an insane level like I do, it goes down to 4. If you really flood the market, it goes down to 3. But that's the thing. Let's say at the standard rate, let's say you're smart, you just stop selling them and you keep them in reserve. You'll be selling them for 5 each. And don't forget, because you're actually producing 2 units, because don't forget 1 firewood equals 2 charcoal, it's basically 10 per turn of gathering per se. All 5 you want to think about it individually, so that is why it's so effective. And as I said, there's trees everywhere. All you got to do is put a forester's hut, so they will replant the trees that get destroyed by the woodcutter's lodge, and then you put the charcoal kiln next to it. Then you got a system, because all they do is they get the woodcutters, and then they will literally go to the woodcutter's lodge and they will collect what they need to. And then if you've got a storehouse, everything then connects, as you can see. And that is why it's the best way. If you talk about, for example, heavy plow, yes, heavy plow is very, very good, but it's very dependent on your fertility. If you haven't got good fertility, then heavy plow is, everyone says heavy plow is good, but it's only good if you've got good fertility, because then you can use it at your best advantage, and you can use it, for example, like I have over here, to then go and plow all the fields. So that is why that's useful. It's the same, for example, with deep mining. Deep mining, you're really relying on an area to have a mine. So for example, like here, you can see with this one, look, I got 7,000 gold because I got a clay deposit. I'm getting the clay, I'm turning them into roof tiles, and then the trading post, you can see I'm selling the roof tiles for 6 gold each. Normally they're 8, but I'm flooding the market again. So these are the 2 best ones. And deep mining, if you can get, for example, an iron ore mine, something like this would be an iron ore mine. And then let's say, for example, you build here, we go over here to industry, and you build a bloomery and you create iron slabs. And then what you do basically is you turn, for example, one of these burgage plots into a blacksmith. So I'm just going to show you quickly what I mean. So if I turn one of these into a blacksmith, I can then get a really insane amount of money. I got no workers here for the moment, but I could just get an insane amount of money, because what you can do is you can then sell weapons, and weapons, for example, sidearms, you can sell sidearms for 8 gold. But again, that will only depend if you've got iron ore, and that is why charcoal is so important. Also, the biggest thing is when you start the game, fuel can be a big supply, especially as your town grows bigger. So the benefit of charcoal is not only does it give you fuel, you have to worry about that, but it also gives you a big money making. So if you lack in other areas, you can then buy whatever you need to with charcoal burning. People say, okay, trade logistics, maybe it's worth doing first. And to be honest, that's not a bad shout. Trade logistics are good, especially when you start an area. But you see with charcoal, because the price of charcoal is just like, you can see, for example, like here, right? Let's say if I wanted to trade charcoal as an example, I'll have to buy the supply route. It's only 100 or wherever it's going to be. So even, for example, like here, you see I've not even bought the trade logistics. Okay, I'm saving 50%, okay? But let's say, for example, I'm just going to go back here. Let's say with charcoal. I can, well, whether 200, whatever it is, it's irrelevant because if I really need money that badly, I can export planks. Now, planks go for 2, I believe, but again, I'm flooding the market. And I bought that trade route for 10. So you could always get money with trade logistics. The only one that's really beneficial is the better deal. So early game, I would say trade logistics can be useful. I would say low to mid game, but I would say you still want to go with charcoal first. And let's say if you're really, for example, struggling with food, you could get trapping and then you can get advanced skinning, because then what you do is you're doubling the meat, and then there, especially if you've got, for example, wild animals, and then you got the policy of wild animals on rich deposits, then you're absolutely laughing. But that is why I would say the charcoal kiln is good. And then after that, you do have deep mining, which is very, very good. Now, in terms of the armories, they're also very good, but again, they're more of a late game thing. And to be honest, basic armor making, you're better off just buying the helmets, because if I'm not mistaken, the helmets, they cost. So a weapon we can sell. So let's say we sell a sidearm, it sells for 8. If we sold a helmet, it sells for 6. So you're better off importing it. So you're better off, so you're better off actually selling your sidearms and importing the helmets. It will be a better use. And then, for example, the heavy plow, as I said, yes, it's good. Only literally if you have that region. The sheep breeding, the sheep breeding is decent, but they patched it now, so it's not as effective as it used to be. And that is basically it. That is why charcoal burning is probably the best one. Everywhere that I go, I'd always get charcoal burning. But as I said, the main thing is you want to build a foresters for peak efficiency. And what you want to do is you want to get a storehouse, something like this. And what you want to do is you want to max out these areas here. So roughly, then you put 2 foresters. So what it is something like this, just to be a bit more efficient. Let's just draw some roads around here. Now, for pure efficiency, this is like a really quick variation. Something like this would be the best system. Because what you have here is you then have a storehouse. Now this storehouse is basically full up. But what you can do, for example, is if I max out all of these, like so, and normally one fully optimized woodcutter's lodge and can basically supply about 2 charcoal kilns. So you'll be pretty fine. They'll be, by the time they go and they get everything, you can see, for example, like by the time they go and I think they've gone home, yeah, it's not efficient in this region, the houses, but I decided this later on for double the money. But you can see, look, the money, look, you can see, look, I've got 1.5k charcoal. If I sell that even for the lowest price at 3 gold, that's like, it's a good amount of money there. You're talking about, I was about 5k easy money that you can get. And then what you would do is you get the woodcutter's lodge, you'll put them next to the charcoal kiln, because what they'll do is they would go and they'll put it into the storehouse, as you can see. And then what you do with the charcoal kiln, you put that next to the woodcutter's lodge as well, because sometimes they will go into the woodcutter's lodge or they'll go straight to the storehouse. So the storehouse is basically a unit where everything gets transferred. So you can see something like, if I have someone like here, so you can see if that's full. And what you can do is you can go to advanced and you can say, okay, you know what, I just want charcoal and I just want wood. So what will happen now is you can see, for example, the people here, you can see that they're going to collect the charcoal, they're putting it in a storehouse, and then they're transporting it all the way to the trade house, which again, I said, is not the most efficient. But that is the best way, and that is why charcoal burning is the best, not only for money, for fueling, but it's the best early game. This is a development point that you should always get without fail. And guys, thanks for watching. I'll catch you later.